What is happening, y'all? Welcome back. So we got an audio log. And more importantly, we are looking good. Mark 10 on everything. We're basically combat Jesus. Oh, hang on a second. Play that log. Where's that log at? Where's that log at? Audio logs. It's this one.
I know your true nature. I know what you want and desire. You followed my trail like the loyal lapdog you are. You never even stopped to wonder who you really were. Too busy playing the hero, I suppose.
One blessed with the power of creation.
Oh, you're actually gonna fight me, bro? Stop this. What are you doing? Silly asshole. Is that where I think it is? Okay, it's right by these guys. Alright, that's nice and close. Yeah! So this is it, huh? Might as well go spend my scrap. Spend everything we got. Have enough? Yeah, I just barely have enough. Let's go health. Looking good there. Lost 11,000. Well, in that case, looks like your boy's gonna get 11,000 real fast. Yeah, I could probably do it still. With my farm set. God damn. Yeah, this 11,000 is gonna take no time at all. The farm set's honestly goofy. I call that move the dance of death. Boom, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. Which typically I don't think it would be that crazy, but with like super energy gain, it just reaches levels where it's like unstoppable. Oh, and that is max. So here we are, implants. I guess we should talk about it before the final boss, you know. So we're running full Cerberus gear. Which the thing that makes Cerberus so great is the set bonus here. We get increased defense and increased damage, and since we're at 5 battery, this bonus is increased even more, so it's just a silly amount of damage going out. To help complement that, we're going for Codename Valkyrie, which has 70% energy gain. I mean, that has 110, but it's slow as hell. So, basically, these are it's just energy gain. It's energy gain out the ass. Even compared to the spear, this just, for a fast weapon, having that much energy gain is really nice. These have even more, and they're poison, but, you know, poison is poison. Which actually, I wonder if I could, yeah, I probably could upgrade that. For implants, Omni Health, Directional, Auto Inject to, you know, stack up the batteries, obviously amazing. This, so I can have 5 charges on my healing, and I get 3 at the med bay. Anytime we parry, we get 40% damage, we get 50 energy, and then we get 20 health and 250 defense, so parries are incredibly valuable. Having this obviously helps keep our buff up. However, I think I would, if I had more energy, if I was leveled up higher, I would definitely go for that guy, just because that would put me, I would always have the level 3 buff. Which actually, I wonder if I have enough that I could take you off. No, I can't. Still got to run the core power 12. But yeah, this is, this works pretty fucking well. Like, Dangerously well, one could say. Oh, come on, really? I hate this stupid thing. Still got 5 charges up. Alright, here we go. Eli!
Now, your power shall become mine, and mine alone. Humanity will be consumed by a glorious blaze, reborn in a cleansing fire.
It's weird how he's fused with all of the...
Too late, warrior. Nothing can stop me now. With Athena's power, I can bend reality to my will. All hail Eli, the spark incarnate!
Oh, you attack fast? Got some armor. Dance of death. That's kind of neat. This has got to be a multi-phase, because this phase 1 is a joke. That was it? Really? Great blade of the Archangel, though. It's a heavy duty. It looks super badass. Still don't got damage like Codename Valkyrie. Another Eli Vanquish. There's no way that was it. Come on, man.
It can't be. Was I wrong all this time? Maybe I truly deserve oblivion. You shall be my judge, warrior.
Sure, we'll let him live.
Perhaps humanity deserves to exist, after all.
Thank you so much. You never stopped fighting. Never stopped believing. I always knew you'd save me. But now, it's time to look ahead. I can look right into your heart. I know what the reward you desire so much is. Your compassion and love are what make you whole. In the beginning, you were but an empty shell. But now, you've become the person I always knew you could be. You truly belong with the other humans. You are one of them. Deep down, you always have been.
Archangel armor?
Maybe we were asking the wrong question. Being made by humans, machines will never be pure. They will always carry their heritage. By design, they can never be without flaws. But maybe they don't have to be perfect.
Let me see something. See what that achievement is that we got. Purified by Athena, cleansed of all imperfections. So...
Maybe all they need is a soul.
So I'm guessing there's multiple endings. Because if I was purified, there must be maybe like I wonder what other factors went into it. Like if I decided to kill him, she just like I see that humanity needs to be purged. I don't know. But another playthrough will tell us. So either way, let's talk about the game. As always, we like to review things in the credits, having experienced all of it. So all in all, we're at what, 36 episodes. So that clocks in at roughly 18 to 20 hours if I add in like the little bits of farming I did here and there, which isn't too bad. 20 hours for a first playthrough is pretty respectable, I think, for games of this type. It could have been longer, certainly. I want to say I think Dark Souls 3 was a good bit longer, but I think considering where this came from, considering the first game, considering the Surge 1, holy shit, what a massive improvement. And this is the thing that confuses me, because I've been, looking at reviews of the game as I've been playing it, see what people are saying, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Surge 2 it's disappointing, it doesn't live up to Surge 1. I don't know if we're playing the same fucking game here, because I had a blast playing this. And y'all know I hated Surge 1. I thought Surge 1 was one of the worst games I'd ever played. I didn't even bother finishing the Let's Play. I hated it. I hated it so much that I stopped playing, tried to play it again on stream, tried to give it a second chance, and still hated it. And this I haven't been able to put down. Right now it is, I know this is the 36th episode, but it is September 25th, so the Wednesday after launch. That is how just nonstop I have been playing this game. So let's dive into it. In terms of gameplay mechanics, I think there was a lot that was vastly improved this time around. Changing up the whole duck and jump thing into a directional parry, huge plus in my book, because the directional parry was super easy to roll with. You hold block, flick your stick in the direction, felt right at home having played For Honor here, and it didn't feel like it was a super challenge. It expanded upon the parry without over expanding it, which is what I think was the case with the original Surge. The combat was good, lots of different visceral executions. At some point I think you just kind of get blind to them because you kill so many people, but I feel like there was pretty good variety in the different executions. I want to say each limb had 2 to 3 different executions for it per weapon, which is pretty respectable, to be honest, considering the variety of the weapons and whatnot. Kind of moving on to that note, let's talk about weapon variety. Weapon variety was a lot better this time around. You saw pretty good variety in what you would use, whereas, just taking, aside from all the various weapon archetypes, just looking at a single weapon, let's say spear, for example, there were spears that you would use for nano damage. There were spears that were just pure outright damage. There were spears that they were more pure damage, but they were oriented towards energy gain and stamina usage as opposed to just top-end damage. There were spears that did elements, I think I said nano already. But anyway, so the point is there was really good flexibility there, I thought. Just looking at the twin rigs, I had the poison twin rig, I had a couple different nano twin rigs, I had pure physical twin rigs. I had little Johnny's twin rigs, so there was good stat variation between stuff, but I would have liked a little more. And to elaborate on that, I think, like, for example, I only found one poison weapon, and there may have been other poison weapons in the game. Maybe they're like hidden behind stuff, and I'm sure there's some things that I missed, especially because I didn't like re-go and visit every single wall I could have broken open or use the lifter zips. But even then, I think I did a pretty decent job kind of going through and making sure that I saw most of the content. And even then, only found one poison weapon. And in terms of fire weapons, there was like the bootleg fire starter, the actual fire starter, and then the corrupted one. So there's definitely room for improvement there, I think. But in terms of just the sheer number of weapons, I mean, God, I remember in the first one, I was like halfway through the game, and it was like, well, I can use the beefy heavy thing I got from the boss, or I'll use the twin blade fire things I got from the boss. And that was pretty much all you used, because everything besides like that and like the MG negotiator staff were hot garbage. Whereas this time, I mean, shit, just look at the playthrough. How many different weapons did I go through? Like, I used the spear for a pretty solid chunk of it. The claws prevailed towards the end. I had a solid bit where I was using the lightning axe, and then I had switched that up for the nano hammer smasher thing. I was using staffs for a while. I was using twin rigged a little bit. I was using the claws a little bit. Like, there was, and that felt good, because usually in games like this, you settle into one weapon and you use that one weapon the whole time. And I felt like I was constantly switching weapons, and I was still progressing. And there were some that I'd always fall back to for certain instances, but just the fact that I could switch weapons around like that as I kept playing, I liked that a lot. In terms of sound design, I think they did a pretty good job. There were a couple sounds here or there that kind of were like, just really got under my skin. Like the zip line, man, I hated the damn zip line sound. But like the sound design and the combat and all that, it was weighty. Like when you would hit stuff, you felt like your attacks were connecting, which is what I think made it satisfying to play, despite, you know, the farming and killing stuff over and over again. In terms of the story, I mean, the story wasn't bad. It didn't really hook me all that in much, just because, like, you know, things start off and it's like you're on a plane crash and little girl goes missing and you're looking for the little girl. And I'm kind of like, okay, I guess we'll find the little girl. The realization when you're at the hospital that they were experimenting on the kids and trying to link the kids up with the nanomachines, that hit kind of hard. That was like, yo, this is pretty fucked up, man. The story's getting pretty fucked up here. But aside from that, like, I can't think of any real oh shit moments that happened. So the story, it was okay, but not the best story I've experienced in a game like this. Like, I think, you know, comparatively speaking, things like Neo and Souls and Sekiro did a much better job storytelling. In terms of the environments, I think they did a really good job in interconnectivity. I would have liked a couple more environments, but I mean, we had like the city, which kind of expanded from like the broke down part of the city to more the structured, militarized part of the city. You had like the lab-esque type area. You had the underground. You had what was it, Gideon's Rock? So there was decent variety, but I would have liked to see more. At the same time, I think given the context of us being, you know, the plot centered in a city, I think they did a good job with the placing of the story. You know, given where we were, I think Gideon's Rock in particular, I think really helped pull it together, because it kind of, you know, added a little bit of greenery to things, like kind of this Central Park-esque thing that's going on in the city. It helped to break up the, you know, just endless buildings that you're walking past and shit like that. So that was a good touch, I think. Let's talk about boss design, because boss design was okay, but not the best. Now, with a game like this, obviously humanoid enemies are going to be the majority of what you fight. And sometimes I feel like the boss fights were still really challenging, other times not so much. Like Little Johnny early on, that was definitely one of the harder boss fights, I think, because You know, you have to wait for timing for the legs to come down to hit the legs, and then get in and hit the things and parry. The Delver I didn't think was too bad in particular, just because once you figured out that you could parry most of his moves and block the ones that you couldn't parry, it kind of pulled together. Overall death 77. There we go, playtime 30 hours. So 30 hours, damn. Longer than I thought. I must have spent a lot of fucking time farming. Tech scrap gained. Most enemy died to Gaia statue. Like 25% of all players. This is pretty cool, actually. Seeing all the Deliver Echo Gamma deaths to average 638. What the fuck? Who died 638, dude? Little Johnny. These averages, there's something's up with these averages. These can't possibly be right. Captain Cervantes average 56. Yeah. So this is really neat, but these numbers definitely need to be updated. So flawless on Brother Eli, flawless on Creo, flawless on Harold. 8 command, 4 deaths, average 4.165. I'd assume that's an accurate number. 1 death on General Ezra. 1 shot Helena, Underground, Dever Alpha. Yeah. Anyway, back on the bosses though. I think the bosses were decent, but I would have liked to see more multi-fight bosses. Like when you first, the first time you beat the matriarch and then her secondary thing comes out, you're kind of like, all right, this is cool. And then by comparison, Archangel Eli, I was kind of like, what? Like, I just beat his ass. And like, he had a cool moveset, but I feel like he absolutely 100% needed to have something else. There needed to be a second phase to that fight, something that made it get all kinds of crazy. Select continue. Unmark new game plus. New challenges and surprises. You'll keep all your gear, weapons, and character progress. Mainly, I'm curious to see if I want to see if I have my zip line and all that for New Game Plus, because that would make New Game Plus a vastly different experience if you're able to zip and whatnot from the start. Well, this is already pretty different. Oh, are we starting from in the plane? Huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your
We
captain
are.
speaking. Flight 221 to Jericho
That's
City.
interesting.
It's going to land in just a few minutes. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet with an airspeed of 1,200 miles per hour.
I'm gonna watch this for a
If
second.
the weather cooperates, there should be an amazing view of the city as we descend. I'll be talking to you again before we land.
Huh. Well, anyway, so back to what I was saying. I would have liked to see improvements in some of the boss fights. They weren't terrible. Like, there was a lot going on. I had mad trouble parrying. My build was just grossly OP, so I was able to just, like, max deeps my way right through the boss. But besides that, I mean, a lot of the fights were pretty interesting. I think the matriarch kind of pulling from the Gaia moveset was a little eh. So there definitely could have been improvements in a couple of the boss fights. Like, all the Delvers you fought, I would have liked to see a little bit more variation in those. But, you know, I had fun fighting the bosses. I just wanted more out of them, I guess. So, I guess all in all, at the end of the day, I would probably score things in at an 8 out of 10. Mainly because, like I said, I would have liked to see more variety in boss design in terms of like movesets and whatnot. And then the other point I'm docking here is because I want it to be there's just it's a lot of little things, you know, like I said about the weapon and weapon variety. That would have been nice. Sound design was good, but there were a couple sounds that were kind of grating. Could have been nice to clean those up. But all in all, definitely a enjoyable experience for sure. Doing here, press buttons and I got up. Just for repairs. Is that visual bug? Those are the visual bugs people were talking about. So that's one thing. I've seen a lot of people mention that there's like bugs and shit going on in the game, but I haven't really experienced
Guardian. You
much
will
of
be
that.
able to file a return form for your behavior will be reported. Have a nice day.
Awesome, thanks. I'll know who to ask next time I'm in trouble. Oh, right, sorry. I'm Athena. Athena Gutenberg. I just can't stand flying alone. Not that I wouldn't be used to it by now. I'm going to meet my grandpa for the first time in years. It'll be weird, though. I haven't seen him in forever. Yeah, you too. Oh, and thanks for your help. What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. It seems that we'll be encountering some turbulence. Please remain calm and stay seated. The situation will soon be resolved. Okay, please return to your seats immediately. We seem to have some... God, what is it? It's coming right at us. Are evasive maneuvers? Take evasive maneuvers! Shit!
So we actually get to see how it all went down starting New Game Plus. That's pretty cool. Oh man. I did not expect this at all.
Help! I'm stuck. I'm not gonna make it on my own.
Sorry, dude. I'm carrying a kid.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I won't forget this.
So is this why the little girl...
Emergency landing aborted. Please remain calm.
No,
and
it's coming
follow
for
the
us.
lines on the floor.
Catching up.
That's from the start. So after this, it actually does just kind of start off in New Game Plus. In the recording, I ended up playing for almost like an extra 20 minutes, just kind of, exploring around, seeing what was different. For example, the starter boss that you get, that you kill to get into the room to get your rig, it's actually a boss now as opposed to just a regular enemy. So there are quite a few changes that seem to occur in New Game Plus. All of your weapons can go up to Mark 11. All of your old materials are gone, but you just use, a baseline of Mark 11. So if something's Mark 6, it'll upgrade straight to Mark 11 in New Game Plus, which is kind of neat and, definitely gives you an opportunity to try out other weapons that you didn't invest in previously. So either way, I'm going to wrap this one on up here. May do a New Game Plus run on stream, kind of messing around and investigating everything. But this was definitely a good experience. I mean, at least comparing this to what I've played so far of Code Vein, if you're looking for a new Souls-like, I would definitely put this ahead of Code Vein. I mean, the combat's tight. There's a lot of interconnectivity in the world. Weapon variety is pretty good. All in all, given the changes that are in New Game Plus, I'd say let's solidify this baby at an 8.5 out of 10. Which is a pretty damn good score, considering how much I dislike the original. So either way, guys, thanks for coming on by. Hope you enjoyed the Let's Play of The Surge 2. As I mentioned, I am going to start working on the walkthrough prep relatively soon. There's a lot going on in this game, so it may take some time to get that all put together, but I do plan on doing it. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch y'all soon enough with more.